I never thought a simple request could change the way I saw everything. It started like any other quiet Saturday afternoon, sunlight slipping through the blinds, a lazy breeze moving through the curtains, and me sitting on the couch scrolling through my phone. Then I heard her voice from the kitchen. "Ethan," she called softly, "would you mind giving me a quick massage? My shoulders have been killing me lately." It was my mother-in-law, Linda. She was in her early 50s, elegant and composed, the kind of woman who carried herself with quiet confidence. She'd always been kind to me, polite, caring, and maybe a little too observant. I hesitated at first, unsure if it was even appropriate. But the way she said it, gentle and weary, made it hard to refuse. "Of course," I replied, trying to sound casual. She smiled, brushing a strand of blonde hair behind her ear. "You're a lifesaver," she said. She sat on the edge of the couch, her posture straight, the light outlining the curve of her shoulders. I took a deep breath and placed my hands gently on them, trying to focus only on helping her relax. But from the first touch, I could tell she'd been tense for days. "Wow," she murmured. "You're actually really good at this." Her words caught me off guard, but I laughed it off. "Guess I missed my calling," I said lightly. As my hands moved over her shoulders, the tension in her muscles began to ease. Her breathing slowed, deepened. The room was quiet except for the faint ticking of the wall clock and the rhythm of her breath. The silence wasn't uncomfortable at first, it was peaceful, almost intimate in a way I hadn't expected. But then something shifted. The air grew heavier, as if the room itself was holding its breath. I could feel the warmth of her skin through her blouse, and I suddenly became aware of how close we were. My hands slowed without meaning to, and for a moment, neither of us moved. She tilted her head slightly, her voice barely above a whisper. "You really have a gentle touch, Ethan." I froze. There was something different in her tone, something softer, almost tender. My heart beat faster. I wanted to tell myself it was nothing, just her way of being kind, but it didn't feel that simple anymore. The air between us was thick with something unspoken. I tried to focus on the massage again, pressing gently into the base of her neck. Her body relaxed, but there was a quiet hum in the room, a tension that wasn't about stress anymore. She sighed, long and slow. "You have no idea how much I needed this," she whispered. I swallowed hard, unsure how to respond. "Just trying to help," I said. Then she shifted slightly, leaning back a little, just enough that her shoulder brushed against my arm. The contact sent a rush of warmth through me. I wasn't sure if it was intentional or just coincidence, but suddenly I couldn't think straight. Linda had always been the composed one, the voice of reason, the woman who made every family gathering feel calm. But right now, sitting so close, she seemed different. Softer. Vulnerable, even. "Linda," I started, my voice breaking the silence, "maybe you should rest." "I can." "Don't stop," she interrupted, her tone calm but firm. I froze again. Her words lingered in the air, gentle but loaded. I nodded slowly and continued, my movements mechanical now, my mind spinning. The seconds stretched. Every sound felt louder, the creak of the couch, the faint rustle of her breath. I caught the scent of her perfume, light, floral, familiar, and it only made everything more confusing. When she finally turned slightly, her face was closer to mine than I expected. Her eyes met mine, deep, calm, unreadable. "You're more than just good at this," she murmured. My heart raced. I wanted to laugh it off, make a joke, say something to break the spell that had formed between us. But I couldn't. The words just wouldn't come. Then, almost without warning, she reached up, her fingers brushing lightly against my cheek. It was such a small gesture, but it sent a shock through me. My breath caught. "There's something I've been meaning to tell you," she said softly. The world seemed to slow. Her voice trembled ever so slightly. My mind raced through every possible thing she could say. I didn't know if I wanted to hear it or not. She looked down, then back up at me, her eyes glimmering with something I couldn't name. "You've been such a help to this family, Ethan," she began. "I don't think I've ever properly thanked you." Her touch lingered for another second before she smiled, a warm, teasing smile that melted all the tension in an instant. "You're such a good son-in-law," she said finally, laughing softly. For a moment, I just sat there, completely frozen. Relief washed over me, but so did confusion. My heart was still pounding, my thoughts a blur. I managed a weak laugh, unsure what else to do. She stretched her arms and sighed contentedly. "That was perfect," she said. "I feel so much better now." "Glad I could help," I replied, my voice barely steady. As she stood and walked toward the kitchen, she turned back briefly, her expression unreadable. "You really do have a gift, Ethan. Don't lose it," she said, then disappeared around the corner. I sat there for a long time, staring at my hands, trying to process what had just happened. It should have been nothing, just a simple massage, a kind gesture for someone I respected. But something about that moment wouldn't leave me alone. The look in her eyes, the way she said those words, the brief touch on my cheek, it all replayed in my mind like a scene from a dream. I wanted to believe it was innocent. I needed to believe it was. But deep down, I couldn't shake the feeling that something else had passed between us, something that neither of us could put into words. And as much as I tried to forget it, the memory lingered. Every time I saw her afterward, every time she smiled at me across the dinner table, I felt that same strange pull. Maybe it was nothing. Maybe it was just in my head. But sometimes, the things left unspoken are the ones that stay with you the longest.